Okay, so moving on, get lender answers. Okay, so the concern that I talked about, the last concern, which is the most obvious, which is probably the one that we all encounter, is the client literally has questions about financing and mortgages, right? They don't know what they qualify for. They don't know how much they can buy. They don't know what's required, how much down payment they need. They have no idea what their credit scores look like. I mean, they have all sorts of mortgage related questions, obviously, right? Uh, you know, Flowify is the largest or one of the largest mortgage application software, right? So according to them, the number one most common complaint about lenders. What do you guys think it is? You can put in the chat or you can unmute yourself. What do you think is the most common complaint amongst lenders from real estate agents and clients? What's the most common complaint? What do you guys think? Are you guys sleeping? There's a chance you guys all be sleeping. I wouldn't blame you because I'm actually pretty tired too, listening to myself.
I'm here.
Okay, Sonia. So what do you think is the biggest complaint most people have about lenders? You want to venture a guess?
They're not being honest. Sorry. I
They're
don't
not being
know.
they're not being honest.
Honest. Like, like you said, there are ways that they can credit some money, into the closing costs, and they don't do. I don't know why the reason. Some of them, they do not disclose, how much they're making, or they don't want to disclose, you know what I mean? And so many of them tell me, I'm not making any money, but nobody works for free. You know what I mean?
Right,
How can I not be make money?
right. So yeah, so your guess is they're not completely honest or they're not disclosing everything, right? Does anyone else have a guess? What's the biggest complaint people have about loan officers or lenders?
The interest rates, that what they say is not really the factual one because they don't look at APR.
Okay, interest rates. Anybody else want to guess? Okay, so I'm gonna give you the answer. Poor communication or lack of responsiveness is the most common complaint in the mortgage lending process. What I mean by that is the loan officer is just really bad at answering their phones, or they don't answer the questions correctly, or they're just not very, they don't communicate or update often enough, right? So the clients are confused or they're scared because they haven't heard anything, right? So what you're saying, Sonia and Sumit, what you're saying kind of relates to that. It's about literally letting the client and the real estate agent know what's really going on, right? And the reason why real estate agents don't like loan officers that don't communicate properly is if the client has a question about mortgages and the loan officer is just not answering their phone, then the agent is the one that's in the crosshairs. The agent is the one that looks bad. The client's always going to look to the agent if something's going wrong, right? Or there's a lack of response from anybody, whether it's the appraiser or maybe they're working with an inspector, whatever it is that you need. Maybe maybe another vendor of some sort, but whatever you need, if they're not responding, the agent's going to automatically look at the real estate agent as the person that needs to fix it, right? So agents don't like that, right? So uh, what I propose is that I think that most lenders, right, should be available in any possible avenue, meaning they should be available via cell phone, via text, email, Facebook DMs, whatever it is. If you don't have access to all of this for your lender partner, you need to switch lenders. Okay, like if you have a lender that says, "Yeah, I don't give out my personal cell number," that is a huge red flag, right? That means that's a lender that doesn't want to work. Okay, so again, be aware of these things. Okay, every lender is every lender knows that communication is the number one complaint, right? When it comes to them from borrowers and those agents. So lenders should actually over communicate, right? Because they know that's the biggest complaint about us. We should make up for it, right? But you need to set fair expectations, obviously. You want to make sure you know your preferred lender's partner schedule and what's expected of them, right? And how long you should expect for them to respond. If you ask them a question, if they send them an email or send a text, you should know that. And there might be things like, let's say they don't work on Sundays, right? So again, if you set expectation, you communicate, you're on the same page. You might tell the client, if the client says, "Hey, I have a question. I haven't heard from Larry yet." You can be like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I should let you know. Larry actually does not work on Sundays. He literally does not have his phone with them. He explained to me that's just the one thing he asked, but he will definitely get back to you on Monday first thing. He promised me that's how he treats all my clients, and hopefully that's enough for the client to feel good about it." Okay. uh, you know we're human, right? But some lenders work 24/7. Like, I'm that kind of lender. Okay. But it's okay to set expectations, right? um, your lender should actually have a clear voicemail inbox set up and be willing to take direct text messages on their personal cell. So what I mean by that is, there's nothing more frustrating to a client if they're calling the lender to ask a question and it gets the voicemail and there's no room in their inbox to leave a voicemail. That's just gonna upset the client, right? But if the client is willing to text after that, then the lender should be willing to take that text, especially if their voice inbox is full. Okay. So if you have a lender again who is really sloppy about their voicemails and they don't accept text messages, you need to switch lenders. Okay. Most people use text messages nowadays, anyways. Um, if you want to kind of force your lender to be responsive, this is something that works really well. And I do this already myself, anyways. But you want to set up a three-way text group with your lender, your buyer, and of course, anyone else involved. So let's say you're the real estate agent, you have a buyer, you have a lender that's working on the file for you, right? You should create a group text and say, "Hey, I created a group text so we can update each other." That way, when you ask a question in the group text, the fact that there's multiple eyes seeing the question, it gives pressure to the lender to respond faster. Okay. Because they can ghost one person, but they don't want to ghost multiple people. Okay. So it's very smart, if you want to sort of keep tabs on your lender, to put them in a sort of carbon copy, multiple group text kind of a situation. Okay. And you should have a backup lender. Okay. What I mean by that is someone that you can call upon and and be willing to help answer questions if your other lender is just simply unresponsive, right? I am the backup lender for a lot of people, right? Like, they'll be like, "Hey, Larry, I'm working with a client. I know it's not a client that I can refer to you, but can you answer a quick question?" I'll be like, "Yes, sure." Why? Why would I want to do that? Because number one, if I say no, I'm the asshole, right? Oh, you're not working with me? Then no, I refuse to help you and your business and your clients. Who cares? Right? No, I would look bad if I say no. Number one. Number two, of course, it's the opportunity just in case something goes wrong with that lender. I'm the next guy in line, right? But also just helping the agent, because again, the agents in the crosshairs. The agents are pressured by their clients to answer the question. They can't get an answer from the lender because the lender doesn't work, past 5 p.m. Or Saturdays and Sundays because they work for a bank, whatever, right? They want answers, so they want to be able to provide that. So I want to be able to empower agents, no matter what, on doing that, right? But yeah, you should have a backup lender just in case, right? Your preferred lender partner should update all parties at least once a week on the loan process. Literally, whatever loan's happening, whatever's going on, whether there's no updates, there should get an update once a week. "Hey, just wanted to let you know we're still waiting for the appraisal. It's been a week, but they have 10 days to provide for us," right? That's an update, right? You want to make sure your clients feel like they're not neglected or forgotten, and that the lender is on top of things, right? So you should work with a lender who does this uh, as a part of their business, right? In fact, I actually update multiple times if I have to, right? But once a week is the bare minimum. If you have lenders that don't do that, you're working with the wrong lenders. Okay. In addition to being readily available, right? They should be doing this. Okay. Phone calls are a requirement for any major updates or bad news. Okay. And it should be made within the same day they are informed of the bad news, no exceptions. So what I mean by that, let's say the house is in appraised. Let's say it's a $500,000 house and it appraises for 490, right? So that's not exciting news. Okay. Something has to happen, whether the seller has to lower the price or the buyer has to come up with the extra $10,000, whatever, right? It's not a smooth situation. The lender should call everyone as soon as possible about this. I actually call the real estate agent first, not the client, the real estate agent first. Why? Because if I call the client and the client gets pissed off and calls the agent, then the agent's finding out from the client, and that's not what I want. I want the agent to find out from me. Okay. Because of course the client being emotional, there's a chance that they might actually throw me under the bus. I can't believe we picked this lender. This lender has crappy appraisers. Yeah, you don't want that to happen, right? So I always call the agent first, make sure we're on the same page. We're like mom and dad, right? We're gonna give the kid the bad news. We need to be on the same page. So I call the agent first. I let them know, and then of course the agent, of course, is informed and prepared for a call from the client if they have feedback after I give them the news. And then of course I actually will tell the listing agents as well. Okay, but that requires a phone call, right? Lenders who dodge phone calls or fails to provide updates is most likely afraid to disappoint you or get you mad, right? Like the reason why they're not answering the call because they don't want to address whatever question you may have, or they have bad news, but they're just not ready to tell you, right? They're scared, right? You should call them out on it. Hey, what's going on? Why haven't heard from you? Is something wrong, right? And if they do that consistently, that's a lender that you don't want to work with. Okay. And why am I telling you all this? Because I'm telling you, you want instant answers to your mortgage questions. Well, vet out your lenders. If they act like this, you're not going to get instant answers. So you need to just not working with them. That's why I'm kind of bringing this up. And I'm telling you this because I make sure that I don't fall in any of these categories. Okay. So there are lenders out there like this, because I'm one of them, that doesn't dodge phone calls, that makes phone calls when it's time to give major updates. And I update my clients once a week, no matter what. Okay. Clients in the listing agent, in the buyer's agent. Okay. So your lender partner should be already be expecting and be prepared for any and all mortgage questions. What I mean by that is we know our job. We know how complicated it can be, and we know how mystifying the process can be. So it's not a surprise that people have questions, right? So we should be ready for that. We should be prepared for that. It shouldn't come to a surprise to us that borrowers and real estate agents may not know everything about the mortgage process. Heck, we have questions sometimes. Okay. If your lender does not already have a potential confusion, or they haven't already addressed the potential confusion or curiosity of the borrowers upfront, meaning they haven't really did a good job of explaining what's going on, they should make up for that by being responsive, right? Like if they just do a bad job of presenting information, then they should make up for by actually picking up the phone whenever they get a call from the client. Okay. I mean, it's one or the other. Okay. So in order to make efforts to get these questions answered quickly, if you do have a good preferred lender partner, is you should ask them to provide answers to typical questions, make it readily available. Uh, not every single loan is the same, but the process and the potential need for communication is very consistent and predictable. Meaning, I have the same conversations over and over and over. I answer the same questions over and over and over. Okay, so I know what questions are going to be asked. So as a lender, you should be able to already address those in an earlier conversation, or maybe provide like a PDF or maybe an email FAQ, like frequently asked questions, um, or maybe a video, right? If your lender doesn't have a resource like this, I actually have one that you can use. Okay, it's larryanswers.com if you want to check it out. This is the URL here, larryanswers.com. So LARY, my name, answers.com. Okay, and it's literally a resource that you can share. Well, you actually might not want to share with your clients because I get pretty raw about it, but you can use it to research. So this is what it looks like. Okay, it's literally a class I created where I asked what I believe is the most typical questions and I provide an answer for it. So in this case, how do I know how much I can afford when buying a house? And I give an answer, and I'll probably have some PDFs and I'll have a video explaining it, right? Sometimes they're 3 minute long. Sometimes they're an hour long, right? But if you go to larryanswers.com, you get access to this. I have at least 30, 40, 50 questions there, and I'm going to add to it as
Hey,
we go.
Larry,
Yes, ma'am.
it's asking for a code, to get in a class. So I cannot see this. Yeah, I cannot
Oh,
see this
oh, oh.
document.
Okay, I'll add you because yeah, I think give you access to it. So I'll add you as one of the students, and then you'll get access to it. Okay. I have your email, but
Yeah,
if you don't get it, reach out to me. I'll make sure you get added on to. But yeah, it's exclusive. You actually have to be given permission. So I love your
sure.
enthusiasm, though. I appreciate it.
I have a lot.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes,
Larry.
of course, no problem. So again, if you if you call, text, email, DM, smoke signal, bang on your lender's door and they don't answer, then call, text, email, or DM me and I'll answer. Okay, I'll be your backup no matter what. Okay. The way I look at it, I think there's a lot of unnecessary stress out there. And if I can fix that by just answering a quick question that takes a minute, I'm willing to do that. Right. Even again, even if I'm not doing business with you, even if I'm not even in your, I mean, there's people in Canada on this call. If I can answer the question and it applies in Canada, and I can never do business with them, I don't mind. It makes me feel good whenever I can share my expertise. I told a friend earlier, it makes me feel important. It makes me feel like you respect me because you're asking me questions. So I would love to answer any questions, especially if it's something easy, right? So again, if your lender is just not doing a bad job of responding and you need a question answered right away, reach out to me. I'll do my best to answer the question. And if I don't, then you can call me out on the next call. Okay. Um, so yeah, interaction time. Anybody have an experience of this type of method or strategy, or anybody want to share their approach, or how about ideas? Based on what I just told you guys. It looks like a lot of you guys are still on this call, so I don't know. Maybe you guys are all sleeping. I have no idea, or you're just recording this. Who knows? All right. So, any questions on what we just covered? Sorry, that went a little bit longer. Again, I didn't expect like all those questions. Maybe I'll just shorten it and be prepared for more questions later in the future. But yeah, any questions that I haven't answered yet?
I just have to say was very good, Larry. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate that. No, and that's actually the next question. What was your biggest takeaway, right? What is your biggest aha moment? So hopefully, if you guys are on this call, you can hear me. Maybe you can share your biggest takeaway or your biggest aha moment from this call. Let's start with you, Sonia, since you're there. Like, what was your
Yeah.
biggest, thing that you learned from this call?
Well, I thought, even before you teaching this afternoon, that to ask the lender questions and ask, how can these loan terms can get better, for my clients was I had that in my back. But I wasn't sure how to approach the lender and ask that, even though I did this morning. And he said, no, and we cannot do anything other than this. Um, you just gave me the confidence, you know what I mean, to fight for my client,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and I'll tell you, most lenders they say that because they're too lazy. That's the reason why. They're too lazy to
hmm
actually. They're too lazy to make the effort. Okay, you get them to work by showing them that you're working with someone else. That's how you get them to work, right? So
exactly. And now I feel confident, and you know what I mean, and I know what to do. I'm gonna follow to the T, everything that you explain here. So I think this class was wonderful. I was tired. I don't think I was gonna take this class, but I said, you know what, I probably need to hear something here.
yeah,
Thank you,
well, I
Larry.
appreciate it. No, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you got something out of it. So anybody else want to share like a takeaway or aha moment?
I
Uh,
could
you know,
go quickly, Larry. I mean, couple of things. So it's funny. I actually just recently passed my safe exam, so safe mortgage exams, and I got my New York license. So I still have to like go through the process, join the mortgage. But a couple of things I found very interesting today was one about the free credit repair thing. I think
mhm.
that's a big value add, like that you can provide the clients. I mean, a lot of these clients don't even know, and neither us as a real estate people, like we don't know about that. So I think that's great. Second, I could totally agree with you. I think like when I'm thinking now, working with the lenders, the communication really sucks. I totally get you, and like we're always put on the hook for that, and completely appreciate that. That yeah, kind of like I was just looking at it from my angle. Like if I'm going to be also working on loan, I took your notes, some of the notes down, like following up weekly, and I think those were like really helpful.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on passing the safe exam. That's not an easy test to pass.
No, my God, it's not. It's
Yeah, I know people that took it 3 times and failed it every single time, right?
oh wow.
Yeah, and now they're done because like you have to wait like 6 months after the third time you fail it. So they're like, I'm not going to be a loan officer, right? So yeah, congratulations on that. And yeah, I love helping other loan officers. In fact, I teach classes for loan officers as well. So if you have any questions about like how I do business, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm really willing to. I'm open to share, my experiences and my strategies and whatever. So yeah, reach out to me anytime if you have questions about mortgages and how to approach the business. Okay.
Sure, Larry. I'm gonna take that offer. I mean, what's the best way to reach out to you? Because I'm definitely gonna reach out to you about this, man.
I actually have. I'm gonna show you right now. This is my
Oh, awesome.
information, right? They say that this is not a pitch fest. We're not supposed to sell anything. I don't have anything to sell, right? I literally have nothing to. I mean, I have coaching products and stuff like that, but that's not why I'm part of Agent Mafia. I'm part of Agent Mafia because I want to help the real estate community become way more versed on the mortgage side of the business. Because I think there's this really big divide where they think that lenders should stay lenders and real estate agents should stay real estate agents. Stay in your lane. I think that's horrible advice. Okay. I think the more a real estate agent knows about mortgages, the better they're going to be in as a real estate agent, and they're going to close more deals. And it makes our lives easier. I mean, are you kidding me? I have a client coming in, they already know that they need a down payment. They already know what their price range should be about. They already know what paperwork they need, and they come at me ready to go because they already talked to the real estate agent. That's a dream come true. Right? I don't have to do all the work. I just do what I need to do, which is, of course, pull the credit, structure the deal, write the letter, and of course, take the loan and process it whenever it's time. Right? I mean, to me, if I didn't have to answer questions about mortgages because my referral partners are so well versed on it, that would be a dream come true. Not saying that I need to be replaced and not saying that I don't want to work, but let me do what I need to do, which is the loan, and you can handle the actual selling. Right. So I think it's okay for clients to know, or not clients, mortgage real estate agents to know about mortgages. And I think it just makes for a better conversation, anyways, and a better understanding. I mean, I think the more real estate agents know about mortgages, the more they can empathize with us lenders, and we just have a more synergistic, more chemistry type relationship, right? So yeah, I mean, I think it's okay to basically kind of think on the same level, right? But again, I have nothing to sell. My goal is just to make sure you guys know as much as I do about mortgages, so you can go close more deals. And that way, if you ever meet me in person, you can high five me and say, "Hey, Larry, because of your class, I closed more deals. Thank you very much." That's my goal. Okay.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's my information. You can call me. My cell number is the best way to text me. You can find me on Facebook. I think I gave the link. It's the Larry Lee. So Facebook/the Larry Lee. My link tree has like all my information. And of course, if you want a resource to the answer thing that I have, LarryAnswers.com. Right. But yeah, I mean, I have nothing to sell except for, I don't know, if you want to do business, if I can help you with your clients, I mean, I would love that, but there's no expectation because, because I don't know who I'm talking to, you guys. I mean, a lot of you guys are in Canada anyways, right? So it doesn't matter. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys being on this call. If no one else has any questions or takeaways, I appreciate you guys being here for another 30 minutes. Hopefully I can shorten the class so the next time it does close in that 1 hour time slot that I'm supposed to close. And again, I will talk to you guys later, and I appreciate you guys being here. I'm out.
Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, guys. See you later. I'm going to make sure I get all your emails, okay? All right, I'm out. See you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do us a favor and hit the like button below. That way we tell the YouTube algorithms that people like yourself should be watching this video. And if you do want to see future videos, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. That way when we create new content, you'll be the first to know. Also, you can probably see related videos to this video over here, somewhere in the screen that you can click, or somewhere in the comments. Either way, we appreciate you guys watching. This is Larry, the Mortgage Guy, your mortgage insider. I'll see you in the next video.